This is Pyro. It is the finals version of fire, and it is, in my opinion, one of the most broken elements in the game. It counters almost everything, and is countered by something useless. However, its interactions are a lot more weird than people think. And today, we're gonna do a deep dive on Pyro. We'll talk about what it does, what it counters, what it works well with, and how to effectively counter it. And if you like the video and want to help support the channel, subscribing is the best way to do so. We're getting so close to 500. I can feel it, and it can't be done without your help. So again, thank you so much. And now, back to the video. So let's talk about what Pyro actually does. Pyro is fire damage that does these little tick marks of damage over time. On gadgets and carryables, there is usually a source of the fire that will do consistent damage on top of the tick damage. I will also be referring to tick damage as burn damage. On weapons, there's usually a one-time hit from the weapon, and then on top of that, there is that additional tick damage. And yes, I do know on flamethrowers that it is consistent damage if you play it right, but as you can see, if you just tap the trigger once and use up one ammo, it is a one-time hit. So technically I'm right, but realistically I'm wrong here. So I understand. The burn damage is great because it allows you to get kills after disengaging from a fight. But more importantly, it can prolong someone's regen timer after disengaging from a fight. The regen timers in this game are really long, especially on heavy. So even if you don't run a hit and run playstyle like I do, the burn damage will at least take them out of the fight for just a little bit longer. This is unlike the two other main types of elemental damage in the game, gas damage and explosive damage. Gas damage is consistent and higher than regular burn damage, but does not have that damage over time effect after disengaging like fire does. Explosive damage is higher than gas, but it is only a one-time, really big hit. This is why on paper, gas is the best for a cash-out defense. Explosives might not get the kill, pyro might be a little bit too slow, so gas is like that happy medium. However, there is a huge disadvantage to running gas, and that brings us to our next segment, what Pyro counters. And let me tell you, it's a lot. It directly counters gas, causing it to just disappear. It will light you on fire, connecting to all connecting goo that's near it, which is either really bad or really good for you depending on what you're trying to do. It will also destroy all mines as long as the source of the pyro is on it. And it's important to note that the mines and everything else I'm about to talk about is countered by the consistent damage of the base of the pyro nade, mine, or carryable, and not the tick damage. But the consistent damage is usually a part of the pyro package, so that's why these things are being included. This type of counter also applies to sonar nades and proxy sensors, which means that pyro is a counter to sonar as well. It can counter dome shields if you are inside of it, along with anti-grav and gravity vortex if done before the gravity vortex is activated. Now, this does not work on turrets, the healing emitter or healing ball, zip lines, jump pads, lock bolts, and all other grenade types, meaning that there was at least some thought put into what pyro can counter and what it can't counter. Now, when compared to the other elements such as gas and goo, they don't directly counter anything and are highly susceptible to pyro, which is an element that is highly prevalent in this game. And we're actually going to skip over what counters pyro, and we're going to move on to what pyro works well with. I'll talk about pyro in general, and then we'll talk about some more specific strategies. Pyro can fit into any loadout as long as you're not using gas or smoke alongside it. It is not the best at securing kills, but you could use it to counter gas and goo and all those other things I mentioned. With the gadget version of pyro, you could use it to deal enough damage to either scare someone away from somewhere like a cash out or a doorway or a vent, or you could use it to deal just enough damage to have the advantage in a 1v1. Now we'll move on to the more specific strategies for pyro, and a lot of this will be focused on flamethrower and by extension heavy. Flamethrower and just heavy pyro in general is where this element is in its element. There's two main there's actually three. There's three main strats that I want to talk to you about. The first one being cycling. This is something that my friend Endergaver does really, really well, and I might actually use his gameplay footage if he lets me, because I can't really do it justice. Cycling is used with a flamethrower mesh shield combo, where the healing ball is optional but also helps out a lot. You basically get in some damage to the enemy, put up your shield, and let the burn damage run its course. Then, drop the shield and light them on fire again. The main idea behind this is dealing damage to the enemy while being protected yourself. So you're not going to out DPS them, you will simply out damage them. And that is why the healing ball is really helpful, because it gives you that little heal boost. The next strat, well, I guess it's a whole build, but the next strat includes Flamethrower, Pyro Nade, Pyro Mine, alongside Goo Gun and Goo Nade. I already talked about this in another video, which you can watch if you click right here, so I'll just go over it very briefly. The whole strat revolves around burning goo. You place as much goo as possible, throw some mines down, and set it off with any of your abilities whenever you want. On top of that, you can also do the age-old strat of Goo Gun plus Flamethrower. You basically trap someone in goo with your Goo Gun, swap to your Flamethrower, and burn them. Do this as many times as needed until they're dead. And the third strat that I want to talk to you about is something that I found out about from the Chonk Plays, with what he calls his danger frisbees, which are mines. This is an explosive mine pyro mine combo where you simply place the two next to each other, and the one-time explosive damage on top of the burn damage will likely guarantee you the kill. Now, the main downside to this is if no one goes through your doorway where you set up the trap, or someone simply messes with your setup. You don't need a pyro focus loadout for this, you just need to be willing to use 2 gadgets for one play and trust that the traps will work. And thank you to the Chonk for letting me use his footage. There's definitely a lot of other cool combos that you can do with Pyro, and I don't have the time to go over all of them. So if you know a strat that I didn't bring up, please share it with everybody in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear all of your Pyro strats. But now let's talk about Pyro's main counter, smoke. Smoke is not a very popular element. You can really only access it through like 2 things, the carryables and the smoke nade. Most people don't use either one of those, unless you're me and you use it for a very niche cash out defense strat, which I will tell you about later. People do not understand how much smoke counters all forms of pyro. It snuffs it out, just gone instantly. It's just gone. It doesn't even allow pyro to explode gas. Just it's just gone. It's just gone. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't explode, doesn't do nothing. Just whoosh, just gone. And on top of that, it affects the weapons as well. So if you notice, there's these little tick marks when I'm dealing damage with the flamethrower and when I'm dealing damage with the Cerberus. Well, when you add smoke, look at this. I know, right? The tick marks are just gone. Smoke actively nerfs pyro weapon DPS. All they do when in smoke is deal that base damage. Double check if it works. Oh, I gotta double check that. I'll be right back. All right. Throw smoke. Throw gas. Does not. Oh! It does work. Put my smoke out. Put my gas out. Alright, took up about 27 of my mag, but not 27, I can't do math. That's 17 of my mag, so over half, but it does still ignite gas, so it doesn't get rid of all the fire damage. It gets rid of a lot of it, and it doesn't show up when put the smoke out. Yeah. So it still nerfs DPS, but the utility is still there. I actually want to try this with Cerberus now. If I put smoke out, gas out. Alright, so that worked a lot better than I thought it would. Throw one of these on top of it, throw another one on just to make sure. Oh! There's actually some utility on Cerberus that we don't have on Flamethrower. Because I want to show you Flamethrower again. So if I put down a gas nade on Flamethrower, I press it once or twice, it goes away. But with the smoke, it wasn't like that at all. So I wonder if I can still melee combo it. I'm getting distracted. I'm like midway through my recording, but I'm getting distracted here. Maybe if I try... No, I'm not going to do that yet. Can I still melee combo him? No, you can't. You can't melee combo it. And now I gotta try it on the medium. So the combo, I believe, is 1, 2, hit. Yeah. So can I do that? 1, 2, hit? No! Okay. So if you're running up against a Cerberus, if you put smoke down, it will go through the gas, which I did not expect. But you will mess up their combo. This is gonna make heavy impossible, right? Because it's 3 hits in a melee combo. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's just not enough. Okay. I figured it out. So, the gas, I know 100% for certain that it one-shots, because I doubled up gas, I put, like, in a line, it ignites it. It's completely gone. It's gone. So, I thought, okay, what if instead of gas, I do, where is it? I do grenade. Does it do grenade too? And so, put down a little smoke. Now grenade. Now I put down another smoke. Like I did with the gas. Nothing. And for reference, it's supposed to do that. Smoke, nothing. So then I thought, oh, okay. No. I know exactly why this is, because if it does it specifically on goo and not on gas, there is a reason for it. I figured it out. So this post is from all the way back in, oh God, when was it? Okay, August 14th. It was back in August 14th. And that's not it. Where is it? There it is. So it decreased the radius. It made it more accurate. That's not important. Increase heat applied to world objects by the Cerberus from 2.5 to 7.5, meaning it will now ignite toxic gas clouds in a single shot. So I thought that just meant it would ignite gas just in general. But on top of that, if you put smoke on top of gas, all pyro doesn't work on it. Flamethrower works on it after you drain the mag significantly. The only way to counter it immediately is with Cerberus, meaning that they actually gave Cerberus, I think unintentionally, a lot of really good utility against smoke. Now it still doesn't do the, here, let me just show you. It still doesn't do burn damage. So that is a nerf to it, but it can take out gas. Okay, thank you on the field, Jedi Jedmans. All right, where was I? Oh, okay. So another thing that smoke does that's really important is that you don't get that damage over time when they disengage. If you know that you're going up against a flamethrower and you think that they're going to give you trouble, or a Cerberus, I guess, swap your loadout to have a smoke nade and use it before an engagement. You might also remember when I said that gas and goo are already very susceptible to pyro. The simple solution is smoke, but I guess not against a Cerberus. We figured that out, because a Cerberus can counter that. Or maybe I just did it wrong, but like I did it a couple of times, so I'm pretty sure. I'm gonna have to check that again to make sure, but like the smoke gas thing, can that be countered by just a Cerberus? That might actually be a good reason to use the Cerberus. I mean, not a lot of people use gas smoke anyways. I'm just talking out of my ass at this point. All this to say that a pretty good cash out defense against most pyro would be putting down a gas nade and then a smoke nade to protect it from everything but a Cerberus, I guess. And that's really all I got for you today. If you liked the video and want to help support the channel, subscribing is the best way to do so. Thank you all so much for watching. See you later.